Hello, everybody. My name is Louis Wieland, and for the last 30 years, I've published the official relocation guides on Atlanta that are distributed by the first multiple listing service of Atlanta. That is the third largest multiple listing service in the United States, with over 70,000 agents looking at that site regularly for information about listings in the metro area. It has expanded beyond the metro area and now has listings and provides services in Colorado, Alabama, Tennessee, Florida, and Tennessee. So it's growing, and by leaps and bounds. It is now also more, as much almost commercial as it is residential. More and more commercial agents are using it to list properties for sale, particularly for investors and also for lease of office space and warehousing. For the 30 years, I've published the official relocation guides that are also on their website, that are put into all the real estate brokerage firms for distribution to buyers of real estate. And they're on my website, atlantacommunityprofiles.com. You will find this show, if you missed any part of it, on that website by tomorrow, or certainly by Thursday. And I'm also a commercial agent with KW Commercial. If I can help you with any of your real estate needs, be happy to help. I'm mostly focused on land and multifamily, and just mainly for a lot, also for investors. And every week or so, we interview community leaders, people who are contributing to the well-being of our city. And our guest today is no stranger. He's been on the show over the last few years or so, pretty regularly, and somebody who's highly esteemed member of our community, that I consider a friend of mine, Artie Jones III. Welcome to the show, Artie. Thanks for coming back. Artie has been on the show in his current position as Director of Economic Development for the city of South Fulton, but he was also on when he had that position over at the city of College Park. He has a master's degree from Valdosta and an undergraduate in political science. Is that correct? Was it political science? So, and he's got 24 years of experience in working with cities to help them grow and manage their current business affairs. So he's considered one of the great experts in economic development for communities. So we're going to learn today a little bit more about the city of South Fulton, but hopefully have some interesting ideas to share with you about the city. It's 97 square miles, and home ownership rate is very high at 69%. Population is just under 108,000, so it's one of the largest cities in the metro area. It's a highly educated and affluent. Almost 40% of the citizens have a bachelor's degree or higher. So it's median home value is just under 200,000. So it's definitely a large and affluent city that is growing, and their theme is a city on the rise. So let's start out with that slogan, Artie, and explain to us how you guys come to that slogan, a city on the rise. How did that evolve, and what does it mean?
Okay. Well, I can't take claim for the slogan because the slogan was here before I started working for the city of South Fulton. But what I have learned to understand a city on the rise to mean is that the city is finally, with it being one of the newest cities in the state of Georgia, um, now that it's controlled by city councilmen as opposed to county commissioners, Fulton County wide, um, the city has more of a focus on the local residents here. And a city on the rise, I take that to mean that the city is going to go up from this point forward. It's going to continue to rise. It's going to continue to refine the amenities for the community. It's going to continue to grow in economic development, diversity, and it will continue to develop citywide. Having a city as large as the city of South Fulton, 97 square miles, and having over probably 60% of that property, almost 60% of that property being undeveloped, it's like a blank canvas. There's a great deal of opportunity here in the city of South Fulton. It is a community that is very diverse in the types of economic development it has here. It's the home of the largest industrial corridor east of the Mississippi River, Fulton Industrial Boulevard. At the same time, it's probably the location of one of the largest redevelopment areas on the south side of Fulton County, that being the Old National District, which covers probably 20% of the entire square miles within the city of South Fulton. So a city on the rise, I take it to mean that it's a city that's on its way up. It's going to be recognized in the future for many great things. It's one of the fastest growing cities in the state. In 2022, I believe that the city of South Fulton was the fastest growing city in the state of Georgia in 2022. I think that has been taken over by, I believe, Union City most recently. But we are still, in the top, like I said, the top 3 cities within the state of Georgia as far as growing population wise. And with that population comes the addition of a number of single family homes, multi-family homes, townhomes, condos, you name it. It's here in the city of South Fulton. So that's how I can explain. That's how I kind of define the city on the rise.
So, Artie, you've got 13 parks, 5 recreation centers, 2 tennis facilities, 2 art centers, an indoor, what is that? NATA, natatorium? What is that? I think, what is a natatorium? I don't know the answer to that. I went to college too. I don't know what that means. What is a natatorium?
A natatorium.
It's on your website. It's NATATO. This includes an indoor natatorium.
That's a good one. I'm gonna have to look that up myself.
Yeah.
I went to college too, and I think I missed that class.
Yeah.
I apologize.
Yeah, I missed the natatorium class for sure. The gym, you have gymnasiums, you have fitness centers, theaters, community buildings, athletic fields, outdoor pavilions, playgrounds, walking trails, community garden, and a dog park, all within the population of just under 108,000. So yeah, a lot of to talk about with your city besides business, such as the Burdetta Recreation Center, the Cliftondale Community Center, the tennis center. We have a lot to talk about. What I'd really like to focus on first is Fulton Industrial Boulevard. Tell us
Okay.
a little bit more about, if you just elaborate a little bit on what was going on over there. What are some of the goals for it? And how would you just define the commercial complexion of it as it stands right now? What are you
Yeah.
looking for in terms of development industry wise also?
Okay. Well, the Fulton Industrial Boulevard area, when the city of South Fulton was originally organized as a city, the Fulton Industrial Boulevard area was not a part of it. It was later annexed into the city of South Fulton. I believe it's been about 3.5 years now, 3.5 to 4 years since Fulton Industrial was actually a part of the city of South Fulton. But this particular area is located off of I-20 um, in the city of South Fulton, and it contains approximately 50 million square feet of industrial space, 50 million, and it continues to develop additional space. Um, it is it's kind of the perfect environment if you are someone that is in the business of shipping, distribution, warehousing, logistics. This is a great area for that. Um, what makes it even better is that this particular area is so very, very close to Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport, in that, you know, we have, I guess, Hartsfield-Jackson, I believe this past year had about 107 million passengers, which is not the highest that it has had, but it is the most traveled airport in the world. And it continues to grow year after year. During COVID, things dropped off a little bit, but it's ramping back up to its pre-pandemic passenger count. Um, Passengers are, flying from 6 in the morning basically until about 1 o'clock in the morning. But what takes over between 1 o'clock in the morning and 6 in the morning is cargo. Cargo flying in and out, because Fulton Industrial Boulevard is so close, and it is within a 3-hour flight. It's from Hartsfield-Jackson. You can reach. They said you can reach 80% of the U.S. population within a 3-hour flight. It becomes a very, very important component of the Fulton Industrial Boulevard and being able to get cargo all over the world, um, including domestically within the United States. Um, International trade. Um, there's quite a bit of international trade that happens out of the Fulton Industrial Boulevard area. There's a number of companies that I never even dreamed of that are actually located in Fulton Industrial Boulevard, but at the same time, you don't really see what's going on behind, all of those warehouse walls. The corridor provides competitive leasing rates and a variety of property types and comprehensive support services, fostering an environment conducive to growth and innovations. Companies within the Fulton Industrial Boulevard located here benefit from the region's skilled labor force. Of all the colleges and universities we have here in the Atlanta metro area, that's one big benefit, is that the companies that's located in the Fulton Industrial Boulevard have a talent pool to be able to pull from. This particular area is also served by MARTA for public transportation. So regardless of where you live at in the Atlanta metro area, if there's a MARTA station nearby, you can quickly be able to have access to the Fulton Industrial Boulevard area without having to travel, or I should say drive. There's a strong business support networks in the Fulton Industrial Boulevard area. We have the Fulton Industrial Boulevard CID, Community Improvement District, which is in that area, and they're doing an excellent job in keeping that area operating at its capacity, as well as the Fulton Development Authority, which has acquired a great deal of property located off of I-20 in the Fulton Industrial Boulevard, an area for redevelopment, to be able to make more accommodations and provide more amenities for the employees and the visitors that travel along Fulton Industrial Boulevard and I-20. So there's some great things that's going on in the Fulton Industrial Boulevard area. There isn't a great deal of property that can be developed in that area. There's not a huge amount of acreage in that area. What we're finding out now is that a number of companies are coming in and they're redeveloping and they're retrofitting a lot of those industrial facilities that already exist to accommodate different types of industry. So some good things going on in Fulton Industrial Boulevard.
Is there land available for sale at this time on Fulton Industrial Boulevard? And if so, what kind of industries would you like to see move there?
There is land available in the Fulton Industrial Boulevard area. There's not a huge amount of it, but there is still property that can be developed for, a number of uses, warehouse type manufacturing and logistics type use. The type of companies that we would like to have in this Fulton Industrial Boulevard area, of course, would be those types of jobs that would provide higher, living wages in the area. Those dealing with pharmaceuticals, those dealing with, I would say, different types of technology in the area, like solar panel development, anything, pretty much those type of industries that deal with renewable energy. We would love to have those type of industries in that area. We have had some data centers that have wanted to have been looking at moving in that particular area. Of course, that is not as personnel heavy. It's more so equipment. But we're looking for anything that could provide higher wage type positions that would help us to create a better quality of life for the residents here in the city of South Fulton and also the visitors.
What about residential development, like multifamily? Is that a target industry or real estate group?
Oh, definitely. Multifamily and single family and townhomes are definitely a target. It's not necessarily a target for the Fulton Industrial Boulevard area. There's a number of residential developments that are popping up all over in the city of South Fulton right now. I think it's in the neighborhood of like 4,000 permits for new homes and multifamily that is actually, already moving forward, just working its way through the pipeline. And that there are a number of new developments also that are looking at coming into the area. So that is definitely a target. With us having I guess the sixth largest population within the state of Georgia, as far as residents, and we're growing so fast, it becomes, mandatory that we have housing stock, both workforce housing, a housing that's affordable for those that may have blue collar jobs, but at the same time, having homes for all different lifestyles. Everything from the starter home to, $1 million home. So, but we are working with a number of developers, both your small developers that might build a home here or there, as well as those that build entire residential developments of 200, 300, 400 units. We do have various types of incentives for companies that are moving into the area that create living wage positions, jobs. We also do have incentives available for those type of amenities and companies that we want to move here to the area, but it's been a little more difficult of a lift to attract them to the area. Of course, it's with a community that's growing so fast, it's not hard to find someone to purchase a home or to move into an apartment. That's not an issue that we have. The issue that we have here in the city of South Fulton more so is trying to keep up with providing the amenities for the residents that live in the community so that they won't have to use their disposable income outside the community.
I know that it's hard to characterize your tax incentives from a hypothetical situation, but what kind of information could you provide on tax incentives for specific types of businesses?
Okay.
Just from a macro standpoint, I realize.
Okay. For economic development to work for everyone, I feel that there needs to be different types of economic development incentives for different types of groups. Everything from your mom and pop business, small business, to your multi-million dollar Fortune 500 company moving into the community. The South Fulton Development Authority is our economic development tool that's available for those larger projects. And when I talk of a larger project, I'm talking about projects that have a development cost of $10 million and up. Through the Development Authority, as you know, just like all development authorities within the state, we do have the ability to provide tax abatement for those particular deals. And those tax abatements, in most cases, are provided for a 10-year time frame at 50% of the tax value, and then it's reduced 5% each year until at year 10 they're paying 100% of the taxes. That seems to be a pretty attractive incentive for larger companies that are coming into the area. The City of South Fulton Development Authority does not simply provide tax abatement because they have the ability to do so, but they have a requirement that businesses demonstrate a need for the tax abatement, that the project would not happen without the tax abatement. Once that is demonstrated and once the numbers are ran, then it's up to the development authority to, make a decision on the abatement or the incentive on those projects. Now, the incentive that's for some of the smaller businesses, and most of the smaller businesses are in our retail corridor areas like Old National Highway, and throughout the city. I'm in the process of setting up enterprise zones within those areas. Unlike tax abatement, which school taxes, county taxes, and local city taxes are abated over a period of time, enterprise zones are set up just to provide abatement on the local taxes, the city taxes, which county and school board taxes are not touched. That's the incentive that I'm looking at developing for your small businesses. Also, we have for if you're not a property owner, we do have what we call a opportunity zones that are set up. And these opportunity zones, not to be confused with the federal opportunity zones, this is a state opportunity zone through the Georgia Department of Community Affairs, where if you occupy a building within a specific area that's within an opportunity zone as a business person, you receive tax credits on each employee position that you create. And these tax credits are provided on an annual basis, up to $3,500 per job created. And you receive this credit over a 5-year period of time. You can use these tax credits against your state income tax. In the event your business cannot burn these taxes off within the first 5 years, you have an additional 5 years and up to 10 years to burn off the entire tax credit. So if you create 2 jobs at $3,500 per year, that'll be $7,000 a year for those 2 jobs. You multiply that times 5. 5 times 7 is $35,000. That's a $35,000 tax credit that you can use against your state income taxes. That's pretty attractive because that really hits business people's bottom line when they're thinking about the employment taxes that they have to pay, and now they have a vehicle to be able to utilize those incentives to provide a little bit of a buffer for those business people. And then we have other little incentives from time to time that's available. Just recently, we were able to give out or award $500,000 in American Rescue Plan funds to deserving businesses within the city of South Fulton. We provided them with up to $20,000 per business in grants to be able to improve their businesses that they received as a result of the negative impacts of the COVID pandemic. That particular program has ended, but we were able to award over $500,000 of funds to local businesses.
So, Artie, I'm a real estate agent, obviously, and concerned about finding proper land for clients. And one of the things that I really like about South Fulton is its proximity to transportation. Logistics is extremely one of the great values that you bring, besides just not just the airport, but major highways. And so tell us, could you describe how much land is available generally, not just restricted to the Fulton Industrial Boulevard? And I'd like to talk about the old National Highway area, but what would you say is, how would you characterize the available land to, if you weren't talking to a group of real estate agents, which you are on this show? What advice could you give or direction could you give them in terms of bringing business to your city?
Okay.
Is that too evasive a question? I don't know. Maybe it's just like what kind of land. I mean, as an agent, I have clients that are looking to expand business.
Right.
How much land is available there, and what kind of prices and what kind of real estate categories should we be? How would we have the most luck with in terms of bringing them to your city?
Yeah, well, the thing about it is there's a tremendous amount of property, land that's available throughout the city. Like I said, it's almost 60% of the property is undeveloped in the city. So there's a lot of property that's available. What the city is in the process of doing is updating its comprehensive plan as far as and to trying to understand future uses of this real estate, this property. That will be going on over the next 12 months here in the city of South Fulton. When that is done, it will provide individuals like myself, economic development people, and real estate people like yourself, a better idea of the direction that they should take in working with their clients to, relocate, expand, even consider the city of South Fulton as their next location for their business, or to develop real estate, develop property as residential developments and mixed use developments. So the sky's the limit. It's hard for me to answer that question because there's city of South Fulton is so very diverse in the different types of property that they have available. In one part of the community, say District 4, it's a more of a rural area. You'll find farms there. You'll find, lots with, 3 acres for homes. Then you zoom over to the east side, of the city of South Fulton over here near Old National Highway, and you'll find a retail corridor, and you'll find, you know, lots for homes 2/10 to 3/10 of an acre in size, with 3 bedroom, 2 bath homes. Um, and then you zoom over to Fulton Industrial Boulevard area where you'll find not as many homes, but you find, of course, 50 million square feet of industrial space. So it's a lot of diversity here, but then there's in between all of that, there's a lot of property that's just undeveloped, that's greenfield. The canvas is, wide open. It's just a matter of us going through the comprehensive plan once again to identify those future land uses so that we can direct professionals like yourself in the right direction whenever you are looking for property for your clients.
So the city is 92 square miles. And so 60% of the land within those 92 square miles is available right now.
Yes.
That's very exciting. It's unbelievable, really. When you consider that it's all within the city of the metro, within the metro area. I mean, and by the airport
Yes.
too. I mean, you've got quite a project there, I'm sure you know, and I'm sure you're enjoying creating on this canvas that you just mentioned.
Yeah.
It's very exciting to see, and I look forward to working with you to help you. I know you have a lot on your plate right now, but doing that. Could tell us a little bit more about the Old National Highway retail corridor and how's that coming along? How much space is available there? And how can we as realtors help you promote that area? And what kind of businesses should we be trying to bring to you?
Okay. Just like I did when I was with the city of College Park as an economic development director, I'm doing the same here in the city of South Fulton, especially on the Old National Corridor area. Recently, the city has put out to bid, had put an RFP out for urban planning services. And we have awarded that particular bid to the very same group that I work with in the city of College Park, the Sizemore Group. What we're going to be doing over the next 6 months is actually coming up with an urban plan redesign of the Old National Corridor area, as well as 2 other areas within the city of South Fulton, District 3 Red Oak area, and also District 4. But the redevelopment of this particular area, the infrastructure on Old National Highway is very, very important. There's a lot of good bones there. This is an area that at one time was thriving due to lack of investment over time, infrastructure issues. The area has, fallen on bad times, but now it's being refreshed and reimagined. What I would encourage not only residents of the city of South Fulton to do, but also professionals like developers, realtors, is to, as we have these community meetings and we come up with this urban plan, that we have individual professionals to come out and provide feedback and provide their expertise of what has worked in other areas of the Atlanta metro, so that we can make this the very best plan moving forward. Once this redevelopment plan is completed, it's going to be kind of a playbook for professionals like myself to move these projects forward in the city of South Fulton. So it's very important that we have as many people around the table as possible, and that we're, really vetting and trying to work out issues and concerns on the front end as we do the planning, so that on the back end, we won't end up in a bad situation.
So that's really exciting what you're doing over there, Artie. I mean, you have your hands full. Can you tell us a little bit about the South Fulton Convention and Visitors Bureau and their role in all of your planning?
Sure. The South Fulton Convention and Visitors Bureau, their primary concern is to put heads on beds, preferably hotels, and get business people to come into the community and groups to come into the community to use their disposable income in our stores, restaurants, and shops. Our Convention and Visitors Bureau has been operating now for at least, I believe, 4 years. Um, it's in its infancy. The city of South Fulton technically has only one hotel in it right now, and they have two hotels that are actually under construction right beside their single hotel that's operating. The two new hotels should be up and operating by November or December of this year coming up. So the hotel motel tax dollars that the CVB is receiving right now will probably double after the new hotels are up and operating. It's very, very important for us if we're going to be successful, if we're going to have a successful Convention and Visitors Bureau, that we have hotels here to accommodate visitors. Of course, you know, the hotel motel tax also covers those Airbnbs, the taxes that they collect also. A portion of that goes to hotel motel tax. So I believe that the city of South Fulton's Convention and Visitors Bureau will continue to grow. They continue to shine the light on those amenities that we have here, just like our major tennis court is located in District 3, which has, I think it's like 22 tennis courts. They have a lot of tournaments there. Other amenities like our South Fulton Arts Center. That's where we have a lot of our plays and art shows, events. We have our amphitheater, our Wolf Creek Amphitheater, that is also a part of our amenities that the CVB has to offer for those that are visiting the area. All of those are very important components of our Convention and Visitors Bureau, and we're looking in the future to continue to grow those particular grow additional amenities and for visitors to enjoy.
I just figured out, Artie, what a natatorium is. It's an
Okay.
aquatic center,
Oh,
which is
okay.
what you guys also have there.
Yeah. They're probably talking about the Welcome All Aquatic Center, which is actually under renovation now. They're redoing the pools over there and a number of the facilities. But I believe that the city has right now on its books, it's building two additional pools other than the Welcome All pool facility. So we're looking forward to that, those particular projects coming online so that the community can enjoy.
Well, that's great. This has really been informative. And Artie, I appreciate your coming back on to keep us up to date. And so much happening over there. It's really exciting to watch what you're doing. And we certainly appreciate your service to the community. And I hope to bring some business over there. Let me ask you one question, too, that I know everybody in the world asks you, and that is about truck parking. You have all this land. Everybody's looking for truck parking. Nobody seems to want truck parking, and I do have a couple clients who are looking desperately for land. What is your position on that industry?
Well, truck parking, although it's a great business to be in for those individuals that are in that type of business, it does not create a great deal of development value as far as the real estate is concerned. There's not a great deal of improvements to the property that benefits the city overall. You just have these huge semi-tractor trailers that are parking in a facility that is, well lit, that has restroom facilities, that's in most cases, they're clean and organized. but it's just not something, it's kind of a lower value type development. Now, if I worked in a very rural community, like where I came from in Southeast Georgia, and there wasn't a whole lot going on, of course, truck parking would probably be something we would jump at to provide that service, because it's better than just having greenfield property that's not producing little to no taxes. But as for thinking about the highest and best use within a city like the city of South Fulton, College Park, Capeville, I would think that in those cities, they have to think long and hard on, is this the highest and best use of the property? Can this property be used for anything else, other than truck parking? Let's just say hypothetically, if there was some property that had some environmental issues to it, and it was not financially feasible to clean it up the way that it should, but instead you went in and you capped the project, you put concrete over it and you capped whatever that issue was, I would think that that would be better for the community as opposed to having a piece of property that has some environmental issues.
Vacant.
Yeah. So that's just my perspective. That's not from anyone else's perspective, but that's how I look at it. I think of the highest and best use. And right now in the city of South Fulton, just like most of the elected officials, or I believe that all elected officials are not really, it's not popular with them as far as truck parking facilities. But I'm quite sure there are some communities out there that would jump at the opportunity and being able to accommodate that type of investment.
The other thing too that I really like is the proximity to everything. You have MARTA access. Pretty much, how would you characterize MARTA access throughout the city?
MARTA access, I do like that they have MARTA access in the city, but MARTA only serves about 45% of the city. There's lots of areas that MARTA doesn't touch right now. And what I would like to do is that over time to work with MARTA to get them to extend and adjust their routes to be able to accommodate other areas. What we're finding out is that the areas that are not served by MARTA, if it's an area that has retail or a mixed use development, what we find out is that the business people within those areas find that it's hard to attract talent to run those businesses for them, because public transportation can get them to and from those jobs. You're not going to find a lot of people that want to, are going to pass, drive 15, 20 miles one way out in the middle of nowhere when they can jump on a bus and or a MARTA train for a couple bucks, $2 to $3, and be able to make it to their destination and save that money, that time, and that gas. So even though MARTA is here, it's a great asset to have, but at the same time, it's our Achilles heel in some other areas, in that we need more access, public transportation access throughout the city.
Well, thanks for being on the show again, Artie. I appreciate your service to the community. You're a great citizen, and we appreciate your loyalty to our metro area and hard work and dedication that you, for 24 years, you've been contributing, and we appreciate it very much. And again, if you would like to listen to any part of this interview or the entire interview, it will be sent out to you if you're an agent in the email, and it's also on my website, atlantacommunityprofiles.com. But thank you very much for listening, and have a nice day.
All right.